Okie dokie, dokily dokily do. Oh, my camera is not in the right place. There we go. There. How's it going? How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're having a wonderful Friday evening. It's been a week. It's been a crazy week, but I've been busy today. Wah, wah, wah. I made some smidge stickers, and of course, tomorrow being the very last day of the holiday market, I also made 200 Solstice stickers here. I'll pull that art up and show you guys that art here in just a second. My camera's still not in the right place. Been moving some stuff around because I'm making stickers. I gotta cut stuff, move things around. Restarting it. My air screen monitoring is not showing up on my iPad again. So I'm probably gonna have to restart my iPad. That happens. It's fine. It's fine. It's a good time to do it. We'll restart the iPad while we're sitting here having a wonderful evening. So I'll just come in here, and you know what, while I'm doing this, I'll come in and I've got the bird nerd up on the screen. We'll come in here. Taco Viking stuff, promotional stuff, market stickers, Winter Solstice sticker. And I will fit to screen. There we go. There. How's that? So there's the actual art for the sticker design that I was just showing off. The stickers are made, they're cut. So if you want to get your hands on one of these bad boys, like I said, I got a 200-ish right here. They're 2-inch circle stickers. I will have those tomorrow at the very final day of the coziest little market in town on C Street, Commercial Street in Springfield, Missouri, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. You should come by, see us, skip any lines, pick up your Christmas gifts and your stocking stuffers. Stickers make great stocking stuffers. A smidge sticker would make a great stocking stuffer for anyone in your life. And of course, I've also got sitting here cut but not quite pulled off the papers yet. I could do that. Let's do a live stream where I just pull the stickers off. I've got frogs eating French fries restocking. I've got Santa penguins being restocked here, so all of that good stuff going on tonight. All right, let's see if we can't get this going now. Screen mirroring. I have a backup plan if this is being a pain. Oh, it looks like it has that fixed the problem. I was saying, if I have a backup plan, if this is going to be a pain, instead of drawing, we could work on product design where we take the illustrations I've already done and turn them into a thing. Because I know a lot of you would love to see how that gets done. How the sausage gets made. Before I do any other thing though, no, I'm going to finish. I've been working on this zombie for tomorrow. For the last couple of hours while doing sticker stuff, while the stickers were printing. So I just want to finish him. I just want to finish him up. I've been having a lot of fun again with the line art stuff. Doing some real practice, some real changes in dynamic line art. Just having a good time with it. And I kind of, again, this is one of those like last week when I was doing the Grinch on Friday night. You just get into something and you just kind of lose track of time. Friday is kind of my fun day for when I am doing my illustrations. I try to do something a little different, something a little stretch myself a little on a Friday night. Have a good time with it. And definitely like with this one, that was it just time gets away from me sometimes when I do that. And I was having a good time with this illustration. And just kind of lost track of what I was doing, what I should have been working on. And then my alarm, I did set this. So this week, instead of like looking up and it being 7 o'clock, I set an alarm for myself to let me know when it was 10 minutes till 7. So I could, you know, at least do that right. Be able to go to the bathroom before the stream starts, all that good jazz, not be too terribly late. But I didn't finish. I wanted to finish this up. It's one of those things where here's the honest truth is if I finish this now, then I might be able to go later tonight. I don't have to worry about trying to knock this out before 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, which means logging off and going to bed and getting up earlier tomorrow. And I'm just going to come in here and so that's the shading layer. And I just want to add little like lights to this line. That's all I want to do. Just add little lights. So we'll do some yellow lights, we'll do some blue lights, and some like purple lights, because there's already a lot of red and green in the zombies being a greenish tealish blue and wearing a Santa outfit. There's already a lot of red and green here in this image, so we'll skip the red and green on the Christmas lights and just come in. I'm not even doing line art on these. I think it'll be a lot of fun. What I'll do is I'll draw these in, and then I'll do a second layer and do like a bigger orb around them to give them just like a little bit of like their lights, you know. So something I've been like, I think it's playing with high dynamic line weight is like a gateway drug to doing lineless art. Which is like the thing that, you know, you eventually want to be able to do full rendering and all that stuff. And honestly, I'm not like, I've never been, this is a thing I've been studying because I have a hard time with it. I'll start from the beginning. So when I was in high school, I did a lot of drawing and I drew people. And one of the things that like became a thing that my friends would say is that if they wanted to see what they would look like when they were old, have me draw them, because I always drew all of the face lines in. And that's actually like a thing for me, is I don't really like, I really do see lines more than shapes. And that's apparently like a legit thing with some artists. Like some artists see shapes better than they see lines, and so like they can painting is easier for them than drawing. And I'm the opposite. Like I see lines everywhere, and so it's easy for me to do a line art. It's like that's how I see the world, I guess. And I think it's probably because I have such bad eyesight. That like I focus on those shapes, or everything else is fuzzy. But in doing so, like lately, I've been really trying to push some of my understanding of the fundamentals of art, really, you know, trying to just be a better artist across the board. And it's starting to change how I see things. Like I'm starting to learn how to pull those shapes out of my brain. And that's just probably a thing that comes with practice more than anything else. You know, it's you do enough practice and your mind starts to figure stuff out. All right, let's see. Let's do a little. So I want that to be like behind that. So it's like there. And I was going to grab the black and kind of clean that back up like that. So you can see that's behind it. And it's just a thing. It's just the thing that I've been experiencing. And I think for me, the key to figuring that out was this time I've been spending with the dynamic line art. Is it like, it's helping me see the shapes better, I guess is really, it's the trick I was missing before, and how to trick my brain into seeing things that it doesn't want to see. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Being completely honest, it's been a good time. Let's do little purples. We don't want to do too many. Actually, let's not worry about that, because honestly, this is a lot of lights on here already. So I'm just going to do another layer. And we'll go back over and we'll just add a bigger orb around all of the blue and yellow. We'll do a yellow around the yellow, obviously. But all I'm doing is I'm just kind of drawing in where the hard light will come from on this strand of lights, this light string. So I'll fill these in, and then they'll be like little glow effect coming off the lights, even though these lights shouldn't be on because this is not plugged in. You can see that because the plug is sitting on the floor. But that's the fun. That's the fun of Zombie World, is that logic and science don't have to make sense in Zombie Land. Oops. That's not fully closed. And we're just gonna clean these up real fast, draw them in. That one must not be closed either. Yeah, so yeah, this is what I've been kind of doing today. Just playing with how I think about like my craft. I tell people I never gave myself a lot of permission to do formal classes in art. So like I haven't taken a lot of formal classes, and I didn't really know what I was missing out on as a doodler, because I just doodled, and art wasn't really a thing that I had considered my calling. And now that it is like a big part of what I do, I'm finally realizing like I need to study this and like really learn what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm talking about here. Because there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it than people realize, I think. It's been kind of a fun experience for me. I've always loved learning, and it's a completely different type of thing to learn about, really, than what I've been used to. Now, this camera is still crooked. There we go. That should be better. So yeah, that's been my Friday. Just cutting stickers and studying art stuff. Specifically, I've been doing some like master studies on dynamic line art thickness, line thickness, and line weight. And it's interesting because it's all stuff that like I academically knew, you know, and had never really just put the thought process into developing the knowledge of. Like when I was studying marketing and communications at WGU, I'd already been in the industry for a long time. And one of the things that they always say at WGU, because it's specifically a college designed to help like adults who have worked in the industry, have practical experience or professional experience, but don't necessarily have a degree, get a degree. And one of the things that they say, and I guess I should say we, because I am a night owl. I'm a former WGU, I'm a WGU alum, and someone who says this, and I'm getting ready to, is they call it formalizing your knowledge. And so that's kind of what I've been trying to do a little bit with art the last few days. Well, not just the last few days, but like the last week. This is still off. Still off. When I lean forward, you're completely missing my head. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm up to these days. Now let's just give this a little background action. We'll come in here and do some shadow. I like shadows. Never enough shadows. Just pool of shadow. Sitting there, chilling. All right. Anyway, this is done. This is good enough for me to be able to finish this easily in the morning. So this is tomorrow's zombie. Shh, don't tell anyone. Yeah. I've had a lot of fun drawing that too. I've been having a lot of fun experimenting with new things. Just drawing stuff and, you know, being around. Okay, so I guess all of that being said, let's pull up the wheel. Right? Let's pull up the wheel of requests and see what we got going on today. Wheel of requests. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, there's only 3 things on here. There's 100 Creatures Creature, Comatose Heart Sloth, and Salamander on a Pogo Stick. So maybe we should add some stuff. I'm gonna leave it up. I'm gonna go ahead and just spin it and see what comes up, and then that's what I'll work on. And anyone who wants to add to the wheel can add to the wheel. While I'm working on that, we'll see where we're at and see what's going down. And it looks like we're going to be working on the next 100 Creatures Creature. And the next 100 Creatures Creature is a Tomte. 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 And let's see what that, I'm not entirely sure I know what that is. I have a really vague thought in my head, but it's probably not right. It might be though, because what I think it is actually the next thing up. And I've noticed that there's a tendency in the Suitness challenge to group like creatures together. So we'll see. I'm just gonna Google it. It's Nordic folklore. The Swedish Tomte, a mythical creature that's part of Scandinavian folklore and tradition. Thank you, but what is it? It's also known as a Nisa. This is not what I thought it was. I was thinking this is like a will-o'-the-wisp style critter. Yeah, like a glowing light thing. Oh, come on. Guys, the internet is getting worse and worse every day. And I don't mean my personal internet. I mean just the internet. The sheer amount of garbage trackers and ads being loaded onto people's websites now is abysmal. We can get rid of the wheel of requests while this is loading. Get rid of this wheel. Bring back this thing. Go ahead and open our grid. Get our prep going here. Looks like another gnome. so many little gnome dudes throughout folklore. Oh, it is a holiday seasonal figure, though. It is a gnome. They are not an elf. They're not exactly a Santa, and they're definitely not a garden gnome. So what are they? Where do they come from? Read all about them. Click here so we can get more impressions on our advertising. Oh, this is a video. Why do people do this crap? Okay. Do not create a website to answer questions and that just completely sends you through a bunch of other garbage. Why is my mouse or my keyboard's not working all of a sudden on my computer? That's fun. I probably accidentally set something on it that locked it down. Let's go to Wikipedia. What is Wikipedia? You can never go wrong with Wikipedia, right? Oh, great. And now my captions are not working again. What the heck? What the heck? Are they turned off? Captions? No, they're on. Tools, captions. Oh, let's see if that is helping at all. I don't think it is. I think I don't know I don't know why my captions aren't working. So that's fun. That's fun. I don't pay for this plugin, so wavelength stream, heard on stream, on, everything's on. Transcript is running. All right, it should be. Why are the captions not working? Let's try turning them off and turning them back on again. That seems to have fixed it. There we go. Okay, yay! That's always fun. Technical Friday night fun. We always have technical problems on a Friday. All right. The Tomten, or Tomte, a niece, Norwegian, Tomte, Swedish, household spirit of Nordic folklore, which has always been described as a small human-like creature wearing a red cap and gray clothing, doing house and stable chores, and expecting to be rewarded at least once a year around winter solstice with the gift of its favorite food, the porridge. Okay, so this is David the Gnome, and this is the third creature in a row that is a household spirit that does chores. And this one eats porridge. So that's what we needed to know. So let's draw in a little dude enjoying some solstice porridge. It's a good time. Tomorrow is the solstice. So the fact that it gets its porridge reward at Yuletide is very timely. It's always fun to draw some David the Gnome fan art. You know, it's a whole thing. I have to figure out what I did with my keyboard. All right, so we'll figure this out. What am I looking at here? Whoa, is there a modern version of David the Gnome? Apparently David the Gnome is making a comeback. All right, so we want a little head, little neck, and then I'm gonna have a little jawline like this. There's our jaw, nose, eyes. Come down. No, this is not. Grumble, 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 grumble. Okay, we need a good pose. That's where we should start. So we'll start with like trying to draw a person eating porridge. So that's where we want to go. A little bowl of porridge. They're little tiny dudes, so we'll make them relatively similar in size to a bowl of porridge. So maybe we have a hip here. I'm gonna do a little knee. So a little leg wrap around like this. There's one leg. Maybe we'll put the other hip over here. Knee, other ankle, foot. Just legs wrapped around this bowl of porridge bowl. There. Spine, neck. So this is our neck compass. Into some shoulders. Rib cage. Chest muscles. This is not good. Okay. How big should this thing's spoon be? I'm thinking like person-sized spoon. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So a little hand down here. Here's a spoon. Spoon placeholder. Hand placeholder. Arm. Other hand over here. Arm. Neck. Head. Face. Map. Ears. Hairline. All right, there we go. And now we can bring in some of those David the Gnome style features as we want to do. So we'll come in and shrink that down. This is gonna need a lot of work because this is not a good drawing. We'll make the head bigger in proportion to the body. I think is one thing I'm gonna do here. So we'll do a little neck action. Big head. Redraw those dimensions. There's our nose spacing, our chin to mouth ratio, triangle, eyes, ear, hairline for what will be a hat. Let's go ahead and draw that little cone hat in for now, like this. Yeah, I don't remember drawing nearly this many gnomes the last time I did this challenge. I have to go hunt down my archive. Give him a beard, a little mustache, and that's a neckline. And then let's see, what type of clothes? Put hair out even more. Have a big ol' tunic style thing here. Little belt. Little hand holding that spoon. Okay. Okay. Sometimes you just have to figure out how you hold a spoon while you're eating porridge. That's just a thing. Sometimes you have to do. as an artist is figure that out. And then another hand over here, holding the bowl in place. Of course, that tunic also is going to be flowing over there. Little belt. And kind of come around like this. Do those pants. Little boots. Little boots. Little boots. And like, there we go. All right. Bowl. More boots. More pants. All right. Now, hang on. Let's go back. Merge those two layers. Group those two layers. I don't really merge them. And we will see if we can't make this look good. Because right now I'm not super hopeful I'm going to make this look good. But I want to have a big, round nose. Little red spot on top. We're going to, like I said, we're going to try to go full David the Gnome here. Droopy eyes. A little nose ridge. All right, let's go. Big, droopy eyes. And honestly, if you're doing some David the Gnome, they're very wet eyes, so they'll have that reflective aspect to them. But also very dark. So, like that. And then let's bring this cheek line up here. And down over here. All right. Here we go. I don't want to shape this beard section here. We'll go like that. Too far over there, beard or mustache. There we go. That's still not good. I'm not happy with this at all right now. That's the problem. That's the problem. I'm going to come back down here to this line. I'm drawing this freaking horizontal face reference line. Just drawing the face reference line. There we go. And now we know where his middle of his face is. So we can actually like give him some facial feature aspects here. Like, you know, there we go. Here, now we've got it figured out. Now that is what it was missing. And bring this way out over here. So now we can bring this beard and really poof it. No, why am I not? What is giving me trouble here? All right, there we go. There we go. I think I'm a little closer to where I'm trying to be. And then right there. Yeah, this is a little more in line with where I was hoping to be at. I think I'm gonna still do some cleaning up here, and I think one of the things I can do is bring the head like this. So he's leaning forward to eat that porridge. Lean forward to eat that porridge. Get that porridge. Get it. All right, and then again, how do I hold a spoon? I hold a spoon like this. So we're like, does anyone else hold a spoon like this? Do I hold a spoon like this because I hold a sword like this? Spoons are like this. How do you guys hold spoons? How do you hold a spoon? That's what I want to know. I feel like I've never thought about how I hold a spoon before. But now I'm looking at like reference art and people hold spoons like they hold kind of a pencil or chopsticks. And I realized I hold a spoon the same grip I use to hold a sword. And I might be a freak. I might be a freak who doesn't know how to hold a spoon correctly. That could be embarrassing for me. I don't know how to hold a spoon apparently. I blame my parents, I guess. That should be their job. And of course, maybe they taught me how to hold a spoon correctly, and I relearned how to do it wrong. That feels like it's possible. One thing is this hand is definitely not the right proportional shapes, so we gotta come in here. Sometimes you just gotta come in and sketch in a hand to make sure that you're doing the basically just getting enough palm space there is what I was trying to make sure there. And a little porridge pile. Porridge is kind of like oatmeal, right? Like, I think that's true. I think that's accurate. I think porridge and oatmeal are fairly similar things. So we'll go there. And we'll bring this bowl in. Like I said, I want to have a little thumb, little hand action coming up into his little tunic. All right, yeah, that makes much more sense to me. Bowl, and little legs sticking off the side, wrapped around the bowl of porridge. Porridge is sacred. It's important. It's important to the Tomte. The Tomte. It's important to the Swedish gnomes. I bet you didn't even know that David the Gnome comes from the Scandinavians. Scandinavia. I didn't when I was a kid. I didn't realize that David the Gnome, not only is David the Gnome like a Swedish based on a book series. Okay, so David the Gnome is a Spanish television show based on the Secret Book of Gnomes by a Dutch author. So David the Gnome is a Spanish TV show based on a Dutch children's book. That's how crazy these things can be. So this isn't the most horrible thing. He looks more like a troll doll than David the Gnome, which is very sad for me right now. That is not my intention was not there. I think David the Gnome actually has like poofy mustache like this. So we can definitely, I'm looking at some reference art of David the Gnome at the moment, so I can definitely clean this up and make it a little more David the Gnome-y. It's like there, and then like maybe bring out the cheek a little more. Yeah. Oh, big, poofy, bushy eyebrows. That's what this face is really missing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And then maybe this needs to come because I tilted his head, so this is gonna have to come forward like that. All right, so this is our line, our sketch, and I think I'm actually going to even increase the size of this conical hat. Here's our sketch ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and just try cleaning this line art up a bit. Then we'll take some time on it. We'll take some time, see if we can't figure something out a little better. So, little nose. Bring in that nose like this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go fully embrace that art style. There we go. We use this as a chance, as a master study, to look at this one of these classic, amazing cartoons that I used to watch so often when I was a child. And we'll use it as an opportunity to study how some of these things are put together in these old cartoons. Because this is by far like one of the like big like I don't think it influenced my art as much as like I just culture wise. David the Gnome was a character who was a big believer in like kindness, empathy, helping out the foxes. It all comes back to foxes around here. I'm gonna go a little more, that a little smoother on those eyes. So it's a good chance for me to look at this and go, what did I like? What do I like about this art style? I have very clear memories of like thinking that most of the cartoons in my life didn't handle serious things, but like David the Gnome and his wife had like real issues, like they couldn't have kids, stuff like that. And there were evil people, there were big trolls. And you could throw acorns at the trolls and they would turn into, maybe I'm thinking mixing, that's Willow. Like, I definitely remember that he rode a fox. That was cool. Just helped wild animals, lived in a tree. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. We'll come in here. Just do some mustachio stuff. Just draw in. Yeah. This is feeling better. I was worried because my sketch did not feel good. But this feels better. This line art feels better. And as I do it, we can adjust the sketch layer to the line art. So I'm going to come in and do this like this. I want this porridge. Is my porridge. And then just bring in the beard. Real simple. Bring it down. Yeah. A little wrap action there. It comes across. Okay. What if we do this? Yeah. give that little cheek line and some little wrinkle action here, the little crow's feet. Yeah, okay, that's what I need to do. I go bring in this cheek, and then we'll come down, and just crow's feet. That, and then that is the beard coming off. And we'll just bring that beard down and through, so that line is continuous. That's the beauty of vector trimming. And then we'll come up here and do this little cone hat. All right. Ear sticking out. Yeah, whatever. When in doubt, just draw David the Gnome. It's fine. It's fine. It is interesting to me. So David the Gnome is a Spanish cartoon in a time period where like a lot of the French cartoons of the time were very much looking heavily Japanese anime inspired. And it's interesting to me, like David the Gnome did not look anything like that. And it's a time period where it definitely would have been that kind of trendiness to do it that way. So definitely a show that gets some props for being willing to be different than other shows of the time. Not just in content, because I feel like it was that too, but also in style and just feel. You know, there's a lot to it. It's an underappreciated cartoon, I feel. And it's one of those where you didn't get to watch it all the time. If you're like me, you didn't get to watch David the Gnome all the time. You got to watch David the Gnome when you were home for school on a sick day. Or maybe a snow day. It wasn't an all the time show. It was on when you would normally be at school. So that always made it special too. You gotta love those shows that you only got to watch when you were home from school for whatever reason. Those are the special sauce there. It makes the life worth living. Yeah, this is feeling better. We'll just bring this down like that. Like that. Like that. There we go. Eat your porridge, Mr. Gnome. It kind of makes me like, so this is actually true. So today I posted brownie, and a brownie and a hobgoblin are literally the same thing. They are used interchangeably in folklore. They have slightly different descriptions, but both have been used so many times and have so for interchangeably for so long that like either could fit into either description. There's just some things that really basically I just picked which ones I wanted to go with. And these spirits are again the same thing. You know, they're the same concept. They're the elves that are making people the cobbler's shoes. You know, they're the same idea over and over again throughout most of the European folklore. We're gonna encounter these same concepts over and over in slightly different flavors, and that's kind of the way folklore works. I mean, obviously it's different. Like one story gets told, and then it traveled to different areas of Europe. and didn't those people didn't communicate on, like, they didn't have the internet, right? So, like, basically all of folklore is one big giant game of telephone over hundreds of years. So you get a lot of variations on themes that come from depending on where you're at in Europe. And so that's very much what's going on here. We've got another house spirit, helpful house spirit, who needs a food, who has to be fed, treated well, coming in and existing. This one is just from the Norse areas versus the, like, Scott areas. Although, again, a lot of cultural overlap between those two groups, because the Norse are one of the Germanic tribes are one of the many tribes that conquered the British Isles, so to speak. I don't know what the actual, like, terminology for those islands collectively is. It's probably something that is a bit of a political debate at times, because I imagine the people of Ireland don't particularly appreciate being lumped into the British Isles. And probably the people of Scotland, even though they're on the same island, probably don't appreciate it. I'm personally ignorant of that part of the world more than I would like to be, and more than is probably I should be. I should be probably more capable. Basically, I should know my world geography better. But in my defense, I went to an American public school in the 90s. And world history was mostly just ancient Greece. And then, like, the Magna Carta, because those are the things that our American propaganda tell us that American history is based on. I gotta drink some water. I'm drinking purple water tonight. Ostensibly, it's grape. They say it's grape. Ostensibly, I mean, okay. My brain gets into these moods where it just decides a word is going to be used over and over and over again for a while. And for the last couple of days, that word has been ostensibly. And I can't seem to shake it out of my vocabulary. I don't know why. I don't know what caused it to be there. I don't know if I'm even using the word correctly. I probably am not. I ostensibly am not. Yeah, that definitely is not how you use it. Just sometimes though, my brain just is like, hey, let's just grab this word and make it the thing, your go-to phrase. I'm just gonna pump it into your mouth constantly for a couple months. You're not gonna have control over it. I wonder if that is in any way, shape, or form related to my bipolar disorder. It feels like it might be, like, anecdotally. I haven't actually, like, tracked this in my journal to log, like, if there is a direct connection. But it feels like my tendency to have that happen very much is tied to my emotion cycles. So it could be a thing. I didn't learn until fairly recently that it is not uncommon for people with bipolar disorder or other forms of similar disorders, similar in how they impact, like, are created by the brain, not similar as in like symptoms, but like that's a whole other conversation, really. There's a tendency to make up new words on a fairly regular basis, especially portmanteau. And that's something I do all the time. I'm just constantly making up words. I did not know that is not necessarily a symptom of like bipolar disorder, but there is a correlation, a positive correlation between people who have that tendency and bipolar disorder, which I thought was an interesting thing to learn about myself, I guess. You never know these things, what you're gonna discover. And again, they're not saying that there is a direct connection. There's just a positive correlation. Just means that in that one study, they observed that to be true, but not necessarily, like I said, not connected to anything. I think in our modern society, a lot of people talk about media literacy being missing. I think in our modern society, one thing that would be really helpful would be more courses on statistical literacy. I think too many people hear statistics but don't understand them and make assumptions about things based on information that they don't really understand. Like correlation does not equal causality is kind of a big one that I think is missing a lot of the time these days. And just like also like what percentages mean in statistics, how those are figured, what they actually come into. Although that does kind of go hand to hand with media literacy and the fighting of misinformation. And also to some extent, or more extent, really from my expertise, not letting yourself be manipulated by information. So like, here is an example is we used to use you can use let me reset my brain for a second. Something that was a common tactic for me when I was doing government marketing was when I needed people to think we were effective at doing something, but the numbers didn't necessarily sound impressive in raw numbers, I would use percentages. Rocking this doodle like nobody's business. It's my next 100 creatures creature. It is a Tomte, and that is basically what David the Gnome is supposed to be. So that's what I've done. I've done some David the Gnome fan art kind of here. But I was just rambling and ranting about statistic literacy. Like I was like, there's a lot of conversation these days about the need for people to develop media literacy. But part of that to me is that people need a better understanding of how statistics work. And one of the things I was using as an example is when I was a professional propagandist, if I needed someone to look at a program favorably, but the actual raw numbers weren't necessarily favorable, I would switch to percentages. And so, like, we catch, you ramble never, we catch 90% of tax fraud. Could be, that's an example. That's not actual numbers that I used ever. And that would be true. Like that percentage would be true, but the actual dollar amount, like we would be like 90% of tax fraud gets stopped by this one check. It would be actually be like, we'd be like, this one thing that we do, one security feature we have prevents 90% of tax fraud. And that would have been true. That would have been like a true statement. And we would say it that way because we want people to understand why, like, we have to do that check. But what we wouldn't say is that, like, 90% of tax fraud represents 3 cases of tax fraud in a year. You know, it represents, you know, $800 in tax fraud or something like that. Now, again, that's not necessarily an actual number or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that any systems like that were a waste, because honestly, part of the reason I would do that is because those systems worked so well that it eliminated tax fraud. And if you got rid of those systems, it would come back. But that's one of those things where, like, people don't realize how easy it is to manipulate those numbers. Statistics are a mathematical science, but interpreting statistics is a bit of an art. You know, this is a thing that it always drove me crazy as the person in charge of the website, because when people don't know anything about running websites, they want to hear like vanity metrics. There are so many things that the general public is unable to understand, right? And part of that is because some things are actually very complicated and nuanced. And you can't explain it in a 15-second TikTok video. Sorry. Not going to rant about TikTok. And some of it is because there have been systems put in place to make sure people can't understand these things. Here's an actual honest to God truth. This is a thing. As a person who worked as a plain language specialist for the tax man, if you know basic, and I mean basic pre-algebra, you can do your taxes. You do not ever need to pay someone to do your taxes. Taxes are actually very easy math, assuming you know how to read the tax booklet. But the tax lobby is one of the most powerful lobby Intuit alone spends like $1 billion a year making sure you're not able to understand your taxes. And making it illegal for the people who work for the IRS or state revenue agencies to help you understand your taxes. I don't know if you know this. There are literally laws in this country preventing state tax agencies from creating free tax services. And that's entirely Intuit. That is Intuit. That's why they also, anytime there's a free tax service that people like, they buy it up. Like they did Credit Karma. I was good at math. I'm decent at math, but I don't have to be because Excel spreadsheets exist. I still don't understand how those I went to school with thought algebra was easier than geometry. Because you have to know algebra in order to do geometry. Like the formulas, the mathematical formulas, geometry, algebra is the basis of geometry. Algebra is the basis of anything beyond simple addition, subtraction, multiplication. I mean, so here's the thing though, is like when I was at school, I don't know if all schools are like this, but when I was at school, you took algebra 1 and then you took geometry and then you took algebra 2. So like basic algebra was fundamental to geometry, but advanced algebra came after geometry. So it was like you needed to know how to do equations to do geometry, but you didn't need to know how to do a matrix. I took geometry first and found it so easy. Yeah, that's weird to me. It's weird to me just from a academic standpoint, because here, I'm gonna be completely honest, like everything up until a certain level of algebra 2 pre-calculus, like geometry included and most of algebra included, and even some trigonometry to that matter, for that matter, I just kind of grokked growing up. I like the math that I'm good at, I'm very good at and can usually intuit it very quickly. But if it doesn't fall into that spectrum of like the stuff I naturally intuit, I can't, it really shuts me down. And then while a sophomore, the math teacher asked me to help the seniors in that class. In geometry? That's cool. I used to, what I have lost an ability to do, and this is also a COVID brain thing, I think, similar to the way I just sometimes lose my vocabulary these days. I used to be very fast at doing math in my head, and I'm not anymore. And I don't know if that is, I don't know if that's really fair to call it a COVID brain thing, or if it's just I got so used to carrying a smartphone with a calculator on it in my pocket that I let the muscle that I use to do formulas in my head, calculations in my head, atrophy. That's probably the more accurate statement. But I used to be very good at math. And here's what part of it is a little bit of dyscalculia, which I didn't realize was a thing until this is a funny story for me. Because I kind of just grok math a lot, just intuited math way more than language. So I definitely had definitely had dyslexia. Like I was told, you have dyslexia. No, sorry, I was in the algebra 1 or 2 by then. Okay. I didn't know dyscalculia was a thing, but I always struggled with spelling and stuff, and I just kind of grokked math. And I didn't realize that part of my problem was that I had a hard time showing my work because of how my brain would process the data. And because of that, I didn't realize I had dyscalculia until I started working at Walmart in high school as a cashier. And I literally one day realized that the longer I worked the register, the more the numbers on the register literally started to dance in my eyes. And I started talking to someone about that phenomenon, like thinking, oh man, it's like eye fatigue or something causing these numbers to like jumble around and move. And literally that's how I saw it. And that's when they were like, oh no, it sounds like you have dyscalculia. And I was like, I have what now? And literally the cat was like, it's like dyslexia, but for numbers. The higher maths were tough for me though. The trig and calc teachers were pretty much genius level. So they went so fast and I struggled to understand. I was really, really good at math until I suddenly wasn't, like until I hit a certain level. And my ability to just process it in my head kind of just went away. The other thing is I didn't really enjoy math as a student. Like I didn't enjoy studying math the way I did language or social studies. So once I got all of the math I needed out of the way, I was like, I'm done learning math. And there are times I regret that because there are some things like I wish I knew so I could be a higher class of nerd. Like, I don't know, if you have to have certain skills in order to level up as a nerd, and some of them are math related. But like there's like programming and stuff that I wish I could do that requires a higher level of math than what I have. I loved math. I know a lot of people do. Yeti Detective loves math still. He does math for fun. Like, as an adult. And definitely by the time I was working in an analytics analysis and stuff, I wished I had studied deeper math. Not because you necessarily need it to understand analytics, but because like when you want to start doing some serious data mining, it helps a lot to have stronger math skills. That being said, going back to my statement about vanity metrics and analytics reports, one thing with like analytics is that it is a math science. The analytics are a science. Data analysis is a science. But it's also an art, and sometimes you just like get to a place where it kind of speaks to you. I always think there's a scene in The Matrix where their operator is like, I can look at the code and see what's happening. It's all ones and zeros, but like it speaks to me. It's a language I can read. That's how I felt about analytics. This is like, I can look at this and tell you what it says, but I can't necessarily, like, I would actually have to think about how to explain to you how I know that. I pretty much love all of the subjects, but I am no good at historical timelines, dates, etc. I pretty much always love learning. I'm just not always great at retaining the material. Too many tabs open in the brain. I can understand that. I love learning. Which is a blessing for me, because I also have, for most of my adult life at least, used data overload as kind of an anti-anxiety metric or measure. So if I start to feel too anxious, I can just pump more and more data into my brain. And it's like my brain cannot be anxious and process data at the same time. So that's why I use multiple monitors. It's why I have like podcasts and music and TV shows going all at the same time. It's just like a thing, a coping mechanism. And that was something that got real bad during the lockdown. I was like, here is when your coping mechanism is information overload and the thing that causes anxiety is information, you get into a doom scroll loop of absolute epic proportions. Blonde, redhead. In fact, the reason I went back to school and finally got my degree when I did was because I was taking so many online classes anyway at the same time that would torture my brain. That's what most people say, and I'm like, it soothes my brain. Yeah, I actually got my degree, my bachelor's degree, because I was taking so many online classes. I was like, if I'm going to take all these online classes anyway, I might as well do it through a college and get a degree. And then I got my master's degree kind of for the same reason, except it was during the lockdown. And I was like, I'm getting caught in this terrifying doom scroll loop where I use information to calm my anxiety. But the information that I have access to right now is what is causing anxiety. And so I went back to school through WGU and did my master's degree program, like as a way to be like, now I have to focus on this academic research that has nothing to do with what's going on in the world. And it helped. It helped a lot. Having that to focus on really helped me in a lot of ways. So I'm not, even though I probably won't ever use my master's degree, really, I'm glad that I did it. But yes, my information setup, I've had more than one person tell me that my information setup that I use to combat anxiety, like just knowing about it, causes them anxiety. And I apologize for that for anyone who gets anxiety just from the concept of basically mainlining information as hard as possible. But that's who I am. That's why I have such a plethora of insane, useless trivia in my head. External noise drowns out the internal noise. That's what I always tell people. Jerk brain likes to pay attention to stuff. So I guess in a way I am, it is torturing. It is torturous to me too. And I'm doing it to torture my brain into stop being mean to me. I'm bullying my brain into submission. That's what I'm doing. So yeah. Anyway, how's your evening going? How's your Friday night? Hope you had a good week. I have some things sitting on my desk that I showed off at the start of the stream that you probably missed. Like these. These are sitting here. These little guys. Gonna be at the market tomorrow. And a whole stack of little Winter Solstice stickers. I'll have these at the market tomorrow too. These are 2-inch circle stickers. And once I finish this illustration, I will bring the art up on those solstice stickers so that they can be seen and we can show them off again. I'll show them off again. Because I really think they're great. And I really love, like, there's a serendipity happening right now in my like what time of year it is and where my brain is at and some other stuff, you know, how life is. Sometimes synchronicity really just does come in and do what it's supposed to do. Sometimes things just are what they're meant to be. Yep, smidge stickers. So, if you're wondering why I have this bowl here, these little house gnomes are part of the folklore is that they only ask for one special payment and they want it twice a year. And that special payment is they want a bowl of porridge on the solstice. So I thought, well, first of all, again, synchronicity at work, that coincidence there, that this would be tomorrow's 100 creatures challenge creature. And tomorrow is the winter solstice. But also, I'm drawing some porridge for it. So that was a fun little thing. Fun little coincidence. Lots of coincidences in my brain right now related to, well, Yule, the winter solstice, really. The universe just kind of kicking some things around, I think. I probably should have used this live stream as a chance to finish my animation that I was working on for the solstice. I had done a lot of really great animation work and was really happy with it. And the file got corrupted. My cloud file that you use so that you don't have to worry about your files getting corrupted got corrupted. And it's just one of those things that happens every once in a while with Fresco when I'm working in a giant file on my potato iPad. So, you know, I have to redo all of that work before 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And really before like 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon so that I can be at the market setting up around 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon because the market starts at 3. This is the last day of the market and I've got stickers to give away. And smidge stickers to sell. I don't know if anyone will actually want to buy smidge stickers, but you never know. He's cute. He's a very cute critter. This line art is getting way thicker than it probably should have, but that's okay. I'm having fun. I'm a little low energy tonight. I apologize for that. I don't know why. I was in a pretty good mood, had a pretty good day. Sometimes I'm just out of the charisma juice. Sometimes my riz is on the fritz. Today's one of those times, just a little chill tonight. I think it's because it's getting cold again. The weather's changing again. I don't like it. I liked that it was in the 60s earlier this week. And I know that's not necessarily great for December, and for some reason, people who think having a white Christmas is an important thing just because Bing Crosby sang about it. All right. Okay. Again, this isn't the best drawing I've ever done, but it's not the worst. This is a pretty decent gnome. I'm not super upset by it. I wish I had done it a little bit better. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't, it feels like it's off in the chest, really, is what it is. Sometimes you just look at these things and you go, well, I'll do it better next time. That's the fun of revisiting this challenge every few years, though. Maybe you were pun deprived. I've only offered up one tonight. That's possible. One of the things I like about doing this challenge over and over again every few years is I get to really see where I've grown and where I need to improve still. And so far, this one has been really nice because I feel like I have improved a lot since the last time around. Obviously, you always have more room for improvement as an artist. You never really master everything in art. But this one has been mostly positive. Like, I can definitely tell you, looking at this compared to the archived versions of things that I've looked at, I've improved my anatomy leaps and folds. My perspective work is a lot better. Just overall, just general level of improvement across the board. This has been one of those things that has really made me feel like I can tell I've spent a year dedicated to practicing and improving my art beyond just being a doodler. So glad I decided to do this challenge again. But it's also something, like I said, it highlights the things that I want to work on still, because you never really finish practicing and learning and growing. I'm a believer in there is a word for when you stop growing, and that's when you die. So for this, what this particular challenge has shown me I want to work on more is definitely and I have started working on it again already. One of them was this line art stuff. One was the dynamic line art. I want to do more work on character posing, and being more life into the poses, more dynamic posing. And that's what the problem with this particular illustration is, that my work on this pose is not where I would like it to be. So the pose is the bending the body to the pose. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out, which is a thing that I'm going to have to work on for the next year. Spend the next year doing it. A lot of what I did work on this last year was trying to improve my understanding of shape and form. Actually, form is the art term. Adding that third dimension to a lot of my art, and doing shading and things like adding that depth. And I feel like there's definitely a lot of shown improvement in my work there. Like, that was not time wasted. Definitely still have things to learn, but I feel like I've definitely improved over the year. And enough that I feel a little bit less like a phony. I'm so jealous of how you can doodle for hours and consistently follow through and complete them. Yeah, it's the one thing. It's hard for me not to, right? Like, and it was something I used to not give myself permission to do for that long. Because it was something like, I don't know how to explain this. Before I started Taco Viking, I never gave myself permission to just spend hours and hours drawing, because I have a hard time spending my time doing things that don't make me feel like I'm being ultra productive. And so I actually stopped myself from doing it. But like, focus is never an issue on drawing for me, to the point where it's almost I actually get hyper focused very easily on drawing. My focus is constantly drifting off like an untethered balloon. Yeah. I don't experience that, so I can't really say I understand it beyond just like the knowledge of that is my understanding of how ADHD works. But I do get hyper focused. Like I said, I get hyper focused on art. And so it's crazy. It actually makes it hard to be an art streamer, because I'm constantly like forcing myself to remember that I'm not just drawing. I also have to like talk. And my natural inclination is to just zone out and draw. And I'll keep going forever, really. So it's not inherently healthy to hyperfocus. I'm familiar with hyperfocus, but I can't control what it will be about. I guess in a lot of ways I don't either. It just so happens that I discovered that my brain will always hyperfocus when I'm drawing. So that's why I do it, right? Like, my whole reason for doing art has always been moving meditation. I don't know how I'm gonna trying to explain it, because it's like art is not necessarily it's the means to an end, not the end itself for me. So I know for a lot of people, like, the act of creating art is what is important to them. And that's not really necessarily true for me. I love, like I said, the art is the thing that brings peace to my brain and focuses out a lot of stuff. So for example, when I'm drawing, I don't need to overwhelm my brain with a bunch of information, because drawing does all of that for me, right? But for me, it's always been, I am a storyteller and a person who gathers and would like to share knowledge. And so art and doing voices and writing, all of that stuff, making videos, all of it is in service of becoming better at that act of communication. Like, I really am. I mean, I left the organizational world, the world of organizational communication behind, but that really is who I am. Like, I like helping people communicate and share what they love with the world. And art is a medium I can do that with that also is good for my mental health. The original Taco Viking mission statement actually was about making art that helps people express themselves. So, like, a lot of my early designs were about things like, this is ways of saying this is who I am. This is a sticker that I can use to show people who I am, what I love, what is important to me. That's why they're you know, reading stickers or gamer stickers or things like that. Oh. I forgot that on this shadow layer I've deleted part of this beard line, so I have to fully close it in, the shadow. All right, I think that looks pretty good shading wise. Also today I've been on this weird kick where I 100% have been doing the shading first. And I think that is just mostly, again, me working on like getting my brain used to thinking in shapes as much as lines again. I'm a little gray in his beard, a little gray beard, little gray eyebrows, hair. And it's been yeah, that is like that. It's been interesting doing this. But there is, as much as I love the art and love, like I said, I love giving away stickers. I did the drawing and storytelling in my head nearly nonstop as a kid. It just dissipated. I think technology was part of the problem since it helped with dopamine bumps. I definitely think that is true for a lot of things. These days, like, especially, I feel like we ask ourselves things like, why is ADHD on the rise? And it's like, obvious why, you know. It's like, well, clearly there's a thing, there's a reason, you know. And it is definitely a thing. I'll tell you something I have noticed about myself. I used to be a ferocious, like, voracious reader. And I loved getting a hardback book or a paperback and just devouring it. And since I like got my first smartphone, basically, it's been almost impossible for me to actually sit down and read a physical book. And that makes me sad in a lot of ways. I feel like it's probably a skill I could get back. Like, I could probably earn back my ability to be a reader again. But another part of that problem is it's just not as convenient. I love audiobooks. Ferocious is what that is the word I was looking for. Ferocious. I am feasting upon the books. I probably could honestly, like, train myself back to that. But audiobooks are so convenient and so enjoyable. And honestly, as a person with dyslexia, so nice for my brain to be able to like get those things. There we go. Little red nose, little red cheeks, just like David the gnome. I think this is pretty good. This is good. I'm not angry at this. This works for me. I like this. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Oh, you know what though? I think I missed coloring in part of the ear. I did. There we go. Yeah. There we go. There's our Tomte, our David the Gnome house gnome eating the solstice porridge to thank them. No, not voracious, right? Voracious? Have I been mispronouncing it? No, not O. Voracious. Ferocious? I don't take my pronunciation or definition of words at all seriously anymore. This is absolutely true. I have a very, very, very large vocabulary that has become jumbled and twisted and mooshed inside my brain since COVID. And then also on top of that, I have dyslexia. And my type of dyslexia is the type where sometimes I get a little bit of word salad where I think I'm saying one thing and I'm actually saying something else. So like the word that is literally coming out of my mouth is not the word processing in my brain. You are right. It is voracious. But I was, the vor is the part that was in my brain going, vor means hungry, eating. And then also ferocious and voracious were becoming one word in my head. That's what was happening. Those words were jumbling. I used to actually be like in a like vocabulary bowl team thing. So like that brag about my vocabulary isn't so much like I'm so smart as it was like I'm such a nerd. I actually spent time actively studying new words so that I can compete at being the guy with the most words. But you are right. It is voracious reading. Obviously, my captions knew I was wrong. So the Google robot knew I was wrong. Anyway, here's a gnome. I drew a gnome. I droodled. I was gonna show off the boop 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 boop. There, check that out. This is the Solstice sticker. It's all good. I know everyone has words they pronounce differently, right? And also a lot of words, a lot of people like they've never heard them out loud. They've only ever read them. And so like because English is a hodgepodge monster bastard language made up of a lot of other stolen languages, things don't always get pronounced the way they should. I wasn't trying to be right. I was worried I'd been doing it wrong. No, that's why I'm reassuring you. You did not. I have been tonight doing it wrong. And I'm not worried about being right. Like I said, I'm wrong all the time because my brain just doesn't work right anymore. Anyway, these are the stickers, the Solstice stickers for tomorrow. This is the last market sticker, if you will, of 2024. And it's so like, I feel like it's so the synchronicity, the synchronicity, serendipity, connectedity. Used to think debris was debris. Yeah, I can get that because again, English sucks. The just like vibes of the universe coming together in coincidence are great because it is the winter solstice. And if you are not super familiar with the Yule traditions outside of the modern Christmas environment, there's like a reason we have a star on our trees and lights and all of this. And it's the winter solstice is literally the darkest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. And the area of the world, the Proto-Germanic, Norse, Scandinavian part of the world where the Yule, that exactly. I feel like there are multiple levels to darkness right now, sadly. Yes, and that's the whole thing here. That's where I'm going with this. The actual celebration of Yule is literally like we haven't seen the sun for like a couple months because it's like no, its sun goes down in October and comes up in February. We don't see it in that time. So like there is the part of the world where this tradition comes from is literally a celebration of whatever light there is in the world, because when it is the darkest is when we need to celebrate the light the most. And the symbolic representation of that is when the world is dark, when there are bad things going on in the world, is when we need to celebrate the good things that much more. And I know you, Tricerabear, are very much aware of my existential crisis kind of thing that I went through a little while back. And the feeling that I had that I was like, how is my doing this? How is my drawing these little gnomes, right? Like drawing this dumb zombie. How is that helping in a world where there is all of this darkness? When I do have these skills for things like explaining to people how the government is manipulating you by using percentages instead of total numbers, right? And I had to go through kind of a little soul search and a little bit of re-looking at my personal values and my life strategy and what's important to me and what I need to do to feel whole and fulfilled as a person. And came to a conclusion about myself and why I exist, what is important to me. And it all kind of comes together right now. What I realized is that symbolism of the darkness and celebrating light in the darkness is really what I'm trying to do right now. Like I realized that what was absolutely important to me was this right here. Fight ignorance, challenge cruelty, spread joy. And I can do all three of those things by doing stupid cartoons, right? Like I actively in my life am in situations often where I can fight ignorance and challenge cruelty. And those are things that I will always do because I'm a person who enjoys getting into an argument, who enjoys conflict. But my gift is that I can make this and put this out into the world and add a little bit of joy. And that was a thing. I had to go, it's not always about fighting the fight. Sometimes it's about celebrating the little bit of light. And it, because I've gone through this recently, because I've had this like soul searching catharsis epiphany recently, Solstice this year, Yule this year feels much more important and poetic and meaningful to me. And that's why I did these stickers. It's why I was making a little cartoon basically explaining all of what I just said. It's just, it's more meaningful to me this year than it has been in a really long time. Because there is a lot of darkness in the world right now. Not just the fact that it is the shortest days of the year, but there's a lot of figurative darkness. There's a lot of hate and misinformation and greed and cruelty and just evil in the world right now. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed and bogged down by that. And we should continue to do our best to fight that and to defeat that when we can. But it's important to celebrate the light that's in the world, the people sharing their light. It's important that we share our light with others. It's important that we see those things and do our best to make the world remember that the darkness only exists when light lets it. Darkness is not a powerful force. Darkness is weak, it is a coward, and it retreats before the light always. And it's important to me to share that message right now. It felt very much like a thing I needed to do this year. It meant a lot to me this year. And I appreciate everybody who has been part of helping me get that light and find that light in myself and helping me share that light with other people. And that includes you. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for being part of the light for me. Okay. You know what? There's only 2 things left on my wheel of requests. I'm transitioning. That was a strong transition. Wonderful, poetic, beautiful transition there. Matt, you're a professional. You're a real pro. We have a Comatose Heart Sloth and Salamander on a pogo stick left on the wheel. And I'm going to draw one. Draw one of these things. It's 9:00 right now. I feel like we ended up on a detour for this timeline. It really is crazy how off everything feels right now. Like we left our script and our trailer trying to wing it. I kind of understand that. I kind of get that. I can see why that feels that way. I suffer from jerk brain, and jerk brain is a pessimist. So there's a big part of my brain that's like, I told you so. I was right all along. It was inevitable. I told you the downfall of man was coming. And that scratched my throat more than I thought it was going to. I try not to accept that. So I think, to me, like, I am hoping that we detoured on this timeline. Also, though, I personally, one of those things that I've studied way too much for no reason at all whatsoever is the generation cycle. Right? This idea that every 80 to 100 years, we kind of cycle through the same basic events. What's the word is history doesn't repeat itself, but it riffs on the past. It paraphrases. History doesn't repeat itself, but it paraphrases. And so I look back at the past and look at the cycle and go, it is bad. Things are bad now, and they might get worse in the next 6 years or so, but there's a turning of the cycle coming. And the kids who are currently like 12 to 15 years old right now, Gen Alpha, they have so much potential to be this force of positive change in ways that no one else could. They're the first real fully understanding digital natives. Like Gen Z are digital natives. They grew up online the entire time, but no one understood what that meant for them. And alphas know what that means. Like they don't spend their time on the phones all the time because they're like, that's cringe. You know, they don't, it's crazy. Anyway, I've gone into this rant before. The kids are gonna be all right. My brain is the worst case scenario brain, so it's stuck thinking we're on one of those strange time hopping movies. No, unfortunately, we are just in what is called the unraveling. Actually, we're through the unraveling and into crisis at this point. When you look at the turning of the cycle, you enter into crisis and everything falls apart. There's usually a world war, and then the next turning of the cycle is the rebuilding and the wonderful times. So unfortunately, we're kind of in the crisis. We're in the bad. Oh yeah, I came across some content talking about the generational stuff too. I have so much faith in the youth, but I'm worried we're going to mess it up to where it just can't be undone. Here is some pessimistic optimism for you. The earth abides. The earth abides and humanity solves problems, and the earth will survive whether or not we do. There's no problem that can't be undone. That's my full belief. It might get worse. It might get bad. It might be a really hard problem to undo, and it will cause its own problems. But I have faith in our species. It might not be in our lifetime, but I think one of the things that separates younger generations from previous generations, and I'm just going to leave that line there, is the idea that not everything we do has to be for us. That some of the things we do is going to be for the future. And I have faith for that future. We might not see it, but it's going to happen. Let's spin the wheel and draw a thing. Let's see which of these two we're going to draw in the last hour of this stream. Comatose Heart Sloth, the Care Bear cousin. You know what? With all of this heaviness that we've just gone through talking about, Comatose Heart Sloth is a good place to be. Oh, I keep forgetting. I've locked my keyboard. We also don't deserve the earth. We need to be shaken off like fleas. I agree. We're bad people. Bad people. Punish us. Punish us. Okay, so we know what we got to do here. We're gonna do, let's see, a little sloth nap time for a slothy Care Bear. So let's start with a little bed branch here like this. And then I know I'm gonna want a little sloth paw here for a little sloth head here. So let's start with, I want a shoulder. This is going to come forward. Little sloth paw. Little sloth head. So that other shoulder would be like here. So that's how that body's laid out there. Another little sloth paw. Little sloth elbow. Little sloth butt. And we'll do leg action. Leg action. Comatose Heart Sloth will be asleep. I don't have to draw a symbol on its belly. because of the way I've drawn it laying. Agreed. Great place to be. Yay, slothiness. This sloth. This sloth and its addiction to the seventh deadly sin. Didn't have a choice. It's named after the sin. Or the sin's named after it. Actually, sloths are named after them. They would be cute in a hammock daydreaming away the afternoon. Oh! Not daydreaming. They're in a coma. Let me, okay. Playing in a, let me see what I can do. I'm gonna hide this and see if I can't find a good reference. Ooh, this one will work. This one works. So let's see. We'll go here and here. Just like that. And there. So a little sloth butt, sloth head. There's a little spine, shoulders, crossed back behind the head, and sloth legs. Ooh. Yeah, that's an idea. There we go. This leg coming across over like that. Folded, leg crossed. If this was a person, they'd have a foot like that and like that. And then we'll do a little spacing there. Yeah, I can do that. I can work with this. I can make this work. So, oops, Comatose Heart Sloth will be laying like this. One thing I definitely want to do, I'll make the little belly bigger, a little bigger belly, bigger sloth belly, and bigger head, which means really got to make everything bigger, right? There we go. There we go. You got there. Gotta have one cross ring off the side. Yeah. This works. And then this comes up. So this is outside here. This would come down. There we go. And of course, little tree here. And a tree over here. There we go. That's Comatose Heart Sloth in a hammock. This is gonna be fun. This is already good. This is already a good picture. I'm gonna start. Oops, I want a new layer. I'm gonna start with this leg. I'm gonna start with a leg out approach. It's like that. Do sloths have the big old long slothy toes on their? Yes, they do. Okay. We'll do a little sloth toe claws, like so. Actually, hang on. So this would come up here. So these would come this way, like this. Like that. Yeah, I'm gonna redraw those though. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Got a little bit of shake in my hand, obviously going on. That happens to me sometimes. That's another reason to use digital art for me, is hand stabilization. All right, and then we'll come up here. And how do I do just little sleepy eyes? And Just kind of drawing a shaping in the nose here. Like draw it in like that. And there we go. Sloths have big old eyebrows. Little dark spots on the face. Like so. Did one the other day that had a Karen haircut. We now have our light in the dark. It's a snoozing sloth. There we go. Bring it all together. When things get too heavy, just have a little sloth nap. Sloth ears. What do your ears look like? Sloth ears. I did this research I just drew a sloth the other day. They don't have ears. They just have little round, cheeky faces, like so. There we go. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm gonna bring this in and just erase that. Have this come a little more like that. There we go. This arm around like this. Like that. What is Coma Heart Sloth plus nap equals slap? Oh. Do sloths take naps, or are they like puppies and they have a snoozer? See, dogs don't take naps, they have a snoozer. Also, what symbol? I think we had an idea for a symbol. So that means this design will always slap. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, there we go. There is a drowsy heart bear that has a star with, okay. So first of all, hang on. I'm going to finish this drawing, but I literally did a Google image search for Care Bear Sloth. And, I have to share an artist that I found, if it will send me to their Instagram here. My browser is being a butt, but I found someone who is like an artist who has drawn a bunch of the Care Bears as sloths. And I want to share that artist because it's really cute art. And I like promoting artists when I can. Oh, it's a Pinterest link from someone's Instagram, so I'm gonna have to hunt it down. But I gotta celebrate other artists, especially when they've beat me to really good ideas already. But I will finish work while that's loading. I'll keep working on this drawing. We got don't want to run out of time on the stream tonight. Although, because I've already drawn my zombie, I can go a little longer tonight than I normally do. I finished my zombie for tomorrow at the beginning of the stream before I started doing any wheel art. I went to visit their Instagram. How funny that we sort of got to the same spot ultimately. Yeah, it's serendipity. Synchronicity. They're kind of related concepts. It's been watching a lot of synchronicity happen lately. It's just felt like it was meant to be. think I want this to come up a little more. And also that. Yeah, this is cute. All right. Let's start inking. Start the inking! And little tufts. Oops. I'm going to start with the tufts. Starts with tufts. I don't know why. Doesn't even matter no matter how hard I try. Keep that in mind. I designed this. The belly could be a clock face with ZZZ like a snooze button, baby. Oh yeah, totally. Because I've already drawn a little heart smiley face with ZZZs on it. So it would be pretty easy to turn that into like a clock face, definitely. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna not draw in that line. I'm gonna do that with just the color. Finally, I'm finally to the Instagram page, so I can come in here, click this little thing there, and boom. There's the Instagram of these wonderful care sloths by the Crystal Sloth. The Crystal Sloth is the artist. I'm following you, Crystal Sloth. That was very cute art. I always like it when I find another cute art that I can learn from, follow. Check out the Crystal Sloth. Shout out to the Crystal Sloth on Instagram, who, by the way, their current user avatar image on Instagram is a Krampus cartoon. So, a cute illustrator from Hawaii. Just a very kawaii style of art. Definitely something I think a lot of Taco Viking fans would want to check out. Just really, really cute stuff. Really appreciate her art, and she has her pronouns, so I can say that is she. Comatose Heart Sloth, you already are making me happy. This stuff is right up your alley, right? That's what I was like. This is great. This is so cute. I love it. Oh, about halfway down her page, she has like a kawaii chibi version of the Reapers from Blade 2. Oh. Sorry, trying to figure out what I've got going on here is I've got this elbow, and I want little fur tufts to stick off this elbow. Trying to figure out what direction those fur tufts should stick off, and I think this is the direction I want to go. I think I want to King Louis that there. This headline should go all the way like that. There we go. And this line will come down slightly over the top of this lip line on the hammock coming through. And I'm going to just go ahead and draw. I'm going to turn the smoothing way up and just draw this hammock line all in one go, like that. Yeah, definitely someone worth sharing to the Taco Viking community. And for that matter, you know, this is one of those things where if you come across an artist that you like and think other people would like, definitely give them a shout out. It came up at the market last night. One of the people that I met over the course of the summer who's come by, and I've become strong positive acquaintances. I don't get to hang out enough to call them friends. But someone I've become strong positive acquaintances with over the summer was at the market last night hanging out. And she mentioned that, like, there were times that she would come to the market and then avoid me because she felt bad that she couldn't buy anything and I always gave away stickers. And I was like, oh, don't ever do that. Like, don't feel bad if you can't buy something from me. Like, that's not why I'm here. That's not my thing. It's not who I am. Like, that's not important to me. But I was like, honestly, one of the biggest things you can do, if you are ever in that situation, you want to support someone who is a friend of yours or a strong positive association acquaintance, someone that you want to support, someone who you want to support an artist. And you can't always afford to buy stuff, and that's totally valid, right? Like, times are tough. It is worth a lot for most artists to have someone help share their stuff. Like, it is worth a ton to have literally like have someone like share your work on social media, on YouTube, on Twitch. It's a way that you can definitely support an artist without spending money. It's not just like, and I'm like, it's always appreciated when someone likes your images or you know, that sort of thing. Like, that is always appreciated. And no one is ever going to complain that you did that. But if you're looking for a way to like really, really support an artist, like, the algorithms love engagement. They love when you bring people to the platform, and they will reward that artist if their content does that. So, like, literally, like, copy that link, send that link to someone if you think that person will appreciate their stuff. Leave a comment. Comments are great. Just say, hey, this was amazing, or this is awesome, or just lol, whatever, you know. Those are ways that you can support someone without money. And you should never feel, if you are coming to see me and you feel like you're worried that I'm going to be upset that you're coming to see me and getting a sticker from me and you can't buy anything, I'm here to tell you right now, that is never I'm not going to worry about it. My art likes to be looked at, and I like it when people come and appreciate it and hang out and talk to me and just get that free sticker, which, by the way, I can write off as a marketing expense. Like, comment, share is the way. That's right. I can write those stickers off as a marketing expense. So when you come and get a free sticker from me, you're actually, like, it's not actually costing me as much as you would think it is. I mean, it's not technically free, but it is definitely something I am going to deduct on my taxes. So, like, yeah, I'm just like, don't ever feel like just being there and being supportive isn't enough. Like, it is. It's totally enough. It totally helps. It totally makes people feel better. One of the reasons I encourage people to do a market Her stuff is so interesting because some of it is quite twisted, but making it cutesy has an interesting effect about it. Right? It's very, very Taco Viking adjacent. Is the like very much similar vibes. Like subject matter that should not be cute, being cute. Definitely, like I said, it's chibi, it's kawaii is the actual aesthetic that she's using in the art. But it's very similar subject matter to what I would draw. Very well done. Definitely something I like. As soon as I opened her Instagram, I was like, this is a page that people who like my work would also like. I don't know how hammocks tie to trees. Is that obvious? I'm just kind of drawing a little thing here. Like this is how knots work, right? It's how cartoon binding works. And that's all that really matters for this illustration. Cartoon binding. I also today I stopped working on it to jump on the stream. Actually, I stopped working on it to work on the tomorrow's zombie before the stream and then finished tomorrow's zombie on the stream. But I'm also working on getting a greeting card with the sloth and fox done. So that will be a thing that'll exist. Also, fun little art. All right, sloth toes. Let's draw you again and see if I can do you right this time. Yeah. Yeah, that's the sloth toes. I'm just gonna come in like this. There we go. One is a clownish baby face in the body of an octopus in the caption, I can squeeze you tight. Oh, that feels so up my alley. I haven't made it that far through because I'm supposed to be drawing and not just reacting to someone else's drawings. But just like down into her Halloween stuff, I'm like, this is so nice, so beautiful. The little pumpkin face monsters. All right, let's see. A little clock face. Like this. Here we go. Here we go. And boop. Boop. Comatose Heart Sloth. Bloop. Yeah, that's cute. This is cute. Oh man, drawing sloths is fun. How come I didn't know drawing sloths would be so much fun? Why did I waste all that time drawing penguins and zombies? I should have been drawing sloths the whole time. Although, to be fair, I also have a lot of fun drawing penguins and zombies, so. And what was like a little, yeah, like that. Little ropey hook. Dang it. Dang you. ropey hooks. Yeah, that's the ticket. Bloop. That looks like a thing now. Okay. It's a carabiner. I had to look away. Her feet is doom scroll. I don't want to jump fully in right now. It's not doom scroll. It's the opposite of doom scroll. It's joy scroll. Oh. Let's thicken up some of this line art. Just really having fun. I will say this, since I started doing this manual dynamic line art stuff, an illustration takes about twice as long, but I think I get more than 2 times as much value from it, so it's worth it to me. Like, I think it adds more than twice as much goodness as the time it adds. If that makes any sense at all whatsoever. I'm still a pretty fast illustrator as far as this speed goes. That was I went out to dinner with Rollivan the other day. He was in town and he was like, you're very fast. You can do a lot of stuff. And I was like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but being the fastest illustrator is not a thing they give you awards for. Right? Like, sloths could be a sticker set someday. They definitely could be. I think sloths are definitely a candidate. Maybe even for like a coloring book. And that's something I think I mentioned this on Wednesday when I was talking about doing this dynamic line stuff. One of the things I really like about it is it will definitely add some levels to my illustration that will make for better line art in a coloring book. So that's a big part of practicing this also. Maybe I'll add a sloth creature to Zombies World. Zombies World. Zombies World. When I say doom scroll, I just mean times suck that will accompany it. Yeah, I understand. I get it. Going down the internet rabbit hole. That's how I usually refer to it. I went down the internet rabbit hole, and 9 hours later, anyway, I learned how to build a solar panel out of a bag of potato chips today. Did you see the zombie dressed as the brain video today? Because I was pretty proud of the lyrics to the song that I wrote. The lyrics that I bastardized from the official Pinky and the Brain song. Zombie is the brain. Zombie is the brain. Zombie is a genius and a little bit insane. He's zombie is a brain. She has a mermaid showing a tiny bit of butt crack. It's so cute. Oh. Well, Crystal Sloth, if for some reason you're ever seeing this video, the VOD of this stream, you have found new fans. New fans have found you, I should say, and really appreciate the work you're doing. It's very cute. Really up my alley as an artist. I love it. And I will definitely be sharing a link on my Discord. So maybe get more people into the Crystal Sloth fandom. I definitely followed on Instagram, so hopefully that interaction will be there. Yeah, if you normally watch them on YouTube, you might not have seen it because YouTube has secretly decided that I did something wrong or something. I just for the last couple of weeks have not had any of my little short videos being shown in the shorts feed, and I don't know entirely what I did wrong. Not entirely sure what caused that to happen, but it'll eventually start showing them to people again. That's what YouTube does. Sometimes your stuff just gets put on a little hiatus. What I've read is if you do too much of the same kind of thing, you get hit with like a little bit of a algorithmic shadow ban. And I was like, well, that's not fair, because that algorithmic shadow ban is there to stop the garbage AI generated useless facts channels and stuff like that is so common in the short form video format. Makes up like 95% of it. But I was like, I draw all my doodles. I doodle all my doodles. They're man doodled. And I was like, and that's kind of also the whole point of a niche on a channel, which YouTube also punishes you if you don't do. So I was like, so you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's bad algorithming. The algorithm should not punish you that way. YouTube, fix your algorithm. The tubes must work correctly, or people will get sad. And by people, I mean me. I will be sad. I'm already sad that I find it fun to make short form video content when I absolutely hate short form video content. But I found a way to do it that's fun, and it makes me angry at myself that I enjoy it so much. This is your lip. This is your lip, Mr. Sloth. Ms. Sloth. Sloth. Sloth Bear Sloth. The best part about being a Care Bear cousin is that I don't have to look up sloth colors. I can just make you whatever color I want. And I don't know. If anyone else is out there going, this I'm going to say this right now. I don't know why, but for some reason, I think sleepy colors are cold colors. So, like, I think Comatose Heart Sloth here is going to be a lavender or purple. Oh my god, she has the head of the Demogorgon on a baby doll body with leg kicked up. Yeah, you're gonna be a nice purple color. Comatose Heart Sloth. Normally I would make you green because green is the best color. But I do. I think sleepy colors are cold colors. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel that way. I feel very passionate about it now. Now that I'm thinking about it for the first time ever in my entire life, I'm very passionate that sleep is purple. And I think if you disagree with me, you're wrong. And you should think about what that means for life. Now, people can disagree with me all they want. I was thinking blue and purple too. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. That was, at the Thanksgiving dinner, we played a game called like passphrase or something like that. Code words. Basically, you have a 9x9 grid of words, and you have to get your partner to guess them. Green doesn't say nap, although green is literally a refreshing and re-energizing color. That's why they call it the green room in theater. But green, you have a nap in a green room. You don't nap when you're green. Green means your battery is full. Anyway, we were playing this game, and it was Paramin and I playing, and I was giving him the words. And the way the game works is like you have this grid of words, and you have to get him to guess, your partner to guess the words that are assigned to your team, without them accidentally picking the other team's words or picking the like word that makes you auto lose. And as we were playing, one of my words was like cold or and like when you're the one giving the hints, the hints, you can only say one word. So like if you had a rock, you could be like hard, you know. So like that's the only thing you can say is one word, and then how many cards on the table that word applies to. So like as an example, if you had on your little map like Kansas City and Springfield, you could be like metropolitan, and then they could be like 2, and they'd be like, oh, these 2 cards. Anyway, that's all set up for me to say, for some reason, I just decided that cold was smooth, and Pearman got it. Like, he understood what I was saying. And I was like, in my head, I think it was like cold is ice and ice is slick, and slick means it's smooth. I don't know, but that he understood what I was saying. It worked. And it's that same kind of just like, it doesn't make any sense, but I believe it to be true. That's where I'm coming from. Like, sleep is purple. Sleep is definitely purple. But the hammock could be green. You know, a little jungle foresty thing going on. Also, just out of nowhere, just now, the Sailor Moon theme song just popped into my brain. Oh, we finally have enough chat comments for the chat bot to be like, hey, people are here. That's in order to keep the bot from spamming. It has a time limit that it has to wait between instances, but also a minimum number of chat messages that have to pop up in the chat room before it will spread its message. Its message of peace and hope and love. Join the cool kids in the Taco Viking and Friends Discord server. Oh. So here's going back to that moving meditation and like the stillness in my brain and getting hyper focused sucked into things. One of the ways I know that the way I'm doing the line art right now is right for me is specifically because when I do it, I get pulled in more. Like it literally it multiplies that impact of that like moving meditation hyper focus, and it makes it like much harder for me to remember to talk when I'm doing line art on the stream, because it just sucks me in. It's like, hey Matt, do this, which means it's meant to be part of my art. It's meant to be how I draw. Also, I like thick lines, and for the last couple of days doing this, I've been doing some nice thick heavy lines. And also my brain has been working on writing a Sir Mix-a-Lot parody song. It's not ready to go, but I like thick lines, and I cannot lie. You other artists can't deny. Anyway, it's a work in progress. It's not really ready for prime time. It's just a thing that my brain has been working on in the background. And it's also one of those things where when I was working almost exclusively in Adobe Illustrator, it was so much easier to control line width on things, because you have the line width tool. And I kind of miss that tool sometimes. But I was talking last night to another vendor at the market and how I do my art. And she's kind of getting started in digital art, just kind of learning some stuff, playing around, that sort of thing, like picking up a new hobby, really. And we were talking about logo design work and things like that, like what programs she should be learning. And I was talking about Inkscape, and she's been using GIMP, and I told her about Krita. And it came up, I was like talking about, like, I just love smooth, heavy, thick outlines on things. I don't know why. I just do. I was just wondering why he had one leg that was so short, because the crossed over one made me think it was just a long arm crossing over his midsection. I had just had to readjust how I was seeing him. Oh yeah, I guess that yeah, because the other arm is back here. So I can see how that could probably throw you off, especially as I'm zooming back and forth around the art on the screen. You haven't really seen a wide shot of the sloth altogether very often. So also, admittedly, I've practiced a lot of anatomy this year because it's not a strong suit of mine. And something I've really been catching myself on is the proportions on my like limbs and stuff, especially here lately, going, is this arm too long? It's like literally in that area of going, oh man, I'm really bad at making the one arm way too long or way too short. And so I've really been paying attention to that myself in my art lately, and trying to get a better, just intuitive understanding of it. It's one of those things that I usually can fix when I'm doing the sketching, but just trying to get a better intuitive understanding of it in general. So, not without merit. A lot of the things, if you look at a lot of my art, there's the arm length is off on one of the arms. And since a sloth's arms and legs are basically the same thing, it wouldn't be hard for the sloth's legs to be off. I am almost done with this line art though, which is good because it's 9:45. And this has been a long stream. All right. What am I missing? Something feels off. But I guess it's not. I guess it's pretty good because I'm going to do that the face color lines there in with the actual color. So let's do that. Let's do that part and finish up this sloth and then call it a stream. So we're going to start with the purple. And I want a nice bluey purple. Bluey purple. There we go. Bluey purple. It's a little too blue. There we go. That's the purple I want. And I'm going to come in here. Mr. Sloth. Where'd my sloth picture go? Oh, wait. I just spent all that time. I lost my sloth picture. What'd I do with it? There it is. No, that's laying in a hammock. That's laying in a shamrock. I've lost my sloth picture. That's okay. That's fine. I'll figure this out. I'll do it. This will go up and around. And around the face. Over here. Like you. And then same here, up and around. Like that. Blam! Dark parts of the sloth. Dark night of the sloth. Oop. And then really, I might have to come in. Oops. Nope. Don't want you. I want you. You. The belly. Same thing. Just. Belly should be light colored too, which means the dark purple needs to go away. Bloop. And erase. There we go. All right, that's good. Need sleuth to find your sloth. And then purple on the nose. We'll make that nose purple. Like that. There we go. What about the mouth? Oh, yeah, you do the mouth purple too. Little sloth lips. Like so. You're a cutie patootie, Mr. Sloth. Ms. Sloth, Mix Sloth. Yeah. Yeah. That looks good. And then I'm going to take this purple and just drive a lightness level down. And add a light purple to those parts. Yeah. That purple might not be light enough. There might be a little more contrast there. Yeah, let's go a little more contrast. That's probably pretty good. I have a trick. I have a trick for checking my contrast. And it goes like this. Just cover it in black and then come over here and change the blend mode to color. And that shows you your contrast levels there. So that's much better on the contrast. Maybe he's dreaming of being a detective in a novel. Yeah. And I'm going to grab a green. Actually, what if I do... Oh, dang, you. Come back down here. Directly across, it's going to be like that green. Little lime green action on the hammock. It's a hammock. Oh. I can remember the words. I can remember words sometimes. And then, of course, it's trees. And trees are brown. Oops. Trees are brown. And this sloth definitely going to go ahead and just need a background. So we will take our, like, Taco Viking lettuce green and bring it around a little bit closer to the blue and do a forest green background. Yeah. Yeah. He's simultaneously being a sleuthing sloth while softly snoozing while softly swaying. You don't want to get me started on the alliteration. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I'm fully up to the alliteration game anymore. In high school, Yeti Detective and I used to have a third person in our squad, so to speak, Vernie Q, who is unfortunately no longer with us. Vernie Q passed away from a brain aneurysm caused by complications with COVID. It was very sad for us. I miss him. He was a good guy. And he came up earlier today too. My mom just randomly mentioned him earlier today, asking about him basically. She did not know he had passed away. But we used to play, he and I used to play a game where we just basically did alliteration challenges. We did alliteration and also rhyming. I used to just drive around in my 95 Dodge Intrepid and all night, just drove around all night long in my 95 Dodge Intrepid playing this alliteration game or just rhyming, just shooting the breeze. That's how Yeti Detective and I saw a UFO that one time. We were just driving around all night. I grew up in a suburb of Kansas City called Belton, Missouri. Belton, Missouri. And there is a loop there. There were 3 highways form like a triangle around Belton. Y Highway, 58 Highway. And it's D Highway, but it's Holmes Road. And we would just drive that loop basically all night long. Oh, I missed part of the color on the sloth's head here. Oh, to be young and be able to only pay 87 cents a gallon for gas again. That would be nice. Those were the days. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do the shading on this arm. Is gonna be fun. I think I want to have something like that. I think this is a little spot of highlight here. Yeah, this is good. This is good. We'll do the same thing over here. We'll have like a little spot of highlight on the leg. Something I've noticed since I started really paying attention to these things, a lot of 80s cartoons didn't use shading at all. There's no shading in these 80s cartoons. And I realized that's probably because a lot of these 80s cartoons were like mass produced very cheaply, and you would have had to pay an animator to shade it. And they didn't want to pay an animator to shade their thing that was supposed to sell toys, so they didn't. And you get a lot more shading and stuff now in children's animation because so much of it is rigged animation, which is a whole like conversation we could have about what that means. Because rigged animation does not mean it's animation that is cheating you. Does he need some subtle impression of eyebrows? He has eyebrows, but we could definitely add some shading to the eyebrows, maybe. Or Oh yeah, yeah. I think I know what you're saying. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Fresco crashed. Please don't destroy my sloth. Please don't destroy my sloth, Fresco. Please, please, please don't destroy my sloth. 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 Whew. It didn't destroy my sloth. What if I did something like this? Oops, I want you curved and curved to a point. There we go. And also, bloop, go away. There we go. How's that? Is that what you're thinking? Maybe the shading was hard to reproduce with the old school method of animation. Yeah, that's that. It was expensive. It was very expensive to do. And that's because of how rigging animation works, which, like I said, is a whole thing to get into, like a whole thing to talk about. I love cartoons. The way rigging animation works is that it is so much cheaper to actually animate most of the show that they get to spend more of their budget doing specific things, and some of that is shading, and some of that is like some rigged shows have really amazing special effects sequences that like are different than what most of the show is. Gravity Falls is one of those. Gravity Falls is a show that uses rigged animation for most of the show, and uses that that lets them do is it saves enough on the budget that they can then use that budget to do some showstopper pieces. And every season of Gravity Falls has some real big showstopper animation where it's all hand animated and really like would be way too expensive if the whole show was like that, but they just nail it. I love it. Of course, some rigged shows are just made cheap. You know, some rigged shows just don't take advantage of that. They are rigged because that lets them basically save time and money. I am going to make this clock face. Oops. I wanted your clock face to be clock facey. I want you to be yellow, Mr. Clockface outside. And I want Clockface inside to be white. Apparently, somewhere along the lines, I screwed up my light colors so that I got rid of the line hurt on that layer. There we go. Now we can go back to the shading layer and our green. And I'm just going to put that whole back arm shaded. All right. And multiply. Ooh, that's very dark. Reduce the opacity. There we go. I bet Sloth cosplays as Wolverine. Okay. Oops. Yeah, there. What do you think? Is this Comatose Heart Sloth? He's a little bit, maybe a little bit of shading on the head. Oops. Wrong layer. This layer. Like this. Just bring this in here. Just bring it down. This is Comatose Heart Sloth. Very happy with how it turned out. Super cute. And it is 10:01. It is after 10 o'clock right now. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. I got some doodling done. Again, you're gonna be at the market tomorrow. Come get your solstice sticker. Also, I'm gonna put these in my bag. I printed these off. I can't sell them though because they're so tall and skinny. They don't look good. But you probably want one. I have some Ginny the Giraffe stickers. I made them originally when I did the first run of French fry eating frogs and Santa's penguins. I put them in between the two. But honestly, once I had them printed and cut it, I realized how small that sticker is. And it just doesn't feel right to put that sticker next to my other 3-inch stickers. I'm gonna have to like maybe redesign Ginny the Giraffe, maybe give her a little background or something that will make her into a better sticker before I sell her. But I have like a bunch of little Ginny here. It's a little Ginny prototype rejects. And I will bring one to you tomorrow if you want to come see me at the market. Otherwise, I will probably slap one into, if you aren't able to come see me to the market, don't worry, I will put a Ginny in your next Patreon pack with your oceans, aliens in the ocean. So I will be at the C Street Market. Tomorrow is the very last day of the coziest little market in Springfield. 3 to 7 p.m. on C Street. It's going to be cold and a little windy, but we will endeavor to persevere and have fun. It will be a good time. And like I said, I will have Solstice stickers. I am restocked on French fry eating frogs and Santa penguins. I will have smidge stickers tomorrow. If I get it done tonight, I will have greeting cards with the mammoth and the fox on them. Can't guarantee that one though, because honestly, other than having some really pretty cute art of a mammoth and a fox with a mistletoe, I'm not entirely sure what to say on the card right now. So yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. It is 10 o'clock at night, so I am going to sign off. I'm going to go to bed. I could actually sit here and draw all night, and maybe soon I will. I don't know. Although I have to admit, I don't have any plans right now to change anything on the stream schedule at this point. But I am doing an interview for a part-time job on Monday, and that might impact my schedule in the future. We'll see how that goes. I don't have any plans to change. It might not have any impact at all whatsoever. I'm only planning to work like 20 hours a week. So here's hoping. I'm going to go comatose myself. Me too. I think I'm ready for bed. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you're following me on the things, like, share, comment to support artists you love. Be the light in the world, celebrate the light you see, share the light with everyone else. And most importantly, remember as always to stay weird. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great night.